everyone, today we're going to be an online business who's trying to group our delivery addresses together. We're going to be doing this using Python, and I'm using rebel8.com as my code editor for today. So let's say that these are the evening orders that we have today. Customers have given their addresses, which includes a building number, which looks kind of like this. That's these numbers. And the street name, which can be first name, 2nd Street, 3rd Avenue. So our customers have not formatted it the exact same way. What we want to do is group our delivery addresses so that it becomes more efficient for delivery drivers to deliver products to customers who live on the same street. We end up with a dictionary where we have our street name as our key, which is going to be unique, and all the different building numbers as values. First step is going to be with traversing through our list. So we can easily do that by using a for loop. So I would say for the address in evening orders list, I'm going to say print address. And it's going to be printing 123rd First Lane, and on the next line 2nd Street 45th. So whatever we have in this list is going to be printed on separate lines here. Next step is going to be to separate our building number from our street name. So we can see that it's kind of jumbled. Some people have given their building number first, some people have given the street name first. Somewhere in our address we have the building number and we have the street name. We could use another for loop to traverse through each string, so that's each address, but see what happens when we do that. So if I say for x in address, print x, we would in fact be getting every single character in each address string on separate lines. When we're trying to traverse through a string, it is actually traversing through every character in this string. So the solution then is going to be just split up this string so that we store just the words. The split method that we're using is actually going to split our string wherever there's a space by default. So let me just show that. So we could say print address dot split with an open close bracket, and we can print this and see what happens. See that we actually get each word in that string as a separate item in a list. By default, it is splitting wherever there was a space. Remember that there's a space between 123rd and 1st, there's a space between 1st and lane. If we had commas separating each word, then we would have done split of comma or full stop. So we're going to take this into a variable instead of printing this, and we're going to call that our split address. So that's just this. Let's just print split address to make sure. So the next step is going to be to identify whether each word in our list is of type number, because we know that the only number here is a building number. So we have to traverse through our split address. So we're again going to use a for loop and say for word in split address, if word dot is numeric, open close brackets, is equal to true, then print word. So this should be printing the building numbers from each string on separate lines. So that's 123rd, 45th, 20th, 52nd, 45th, 20th. So that's what it's doing. If it is a numeric, then we know that it's going to be our building number, so we'll store it in a variable called building number. For that, we first need to declare a variable. So building num is equal to 0. And the other case, when it's not numeric, it's going to be street name. So we'll say street name is equal to the word. And again, we're going to have to declare that. So that's street name is equal to, I'm just going to put an empty string. So let's see what happens at the end of this. So I'm going to print our building number. And street name. Let's see what happens. So What's happening is that it's storing our building number right each time, but the street name, it's just storing the last word in our list. And this is because first time it goes through, for example, 123 first lane, it stores 123 in our building variable, but it's going to store first in our street name, and the next time it comes across the lane, it's just storing that in the street name, and it's actually replacing first. So we don't want to do that. We'll just say every time, we'll just say street name is equal to street name plus a word, and this time we should be seeing first lane, second street, the entire thing. And to make this look like an actual street name, we need to still put a space in between. So I'm going to say street name plus word plus a space. So now it should be storing it as first space lane, second space street. So we can write this in shorthand by doing just a plus equal sign, and it should be the same thing. Now we fixed the second problem. We need to make sure that we fix another problem, which is that there is going to be a final space at the end of our string. Before printing our building number and our street name, we're going to just try to remove the space at the end. But you can see that we actually can't do that because we're not allowed to use an operator like a minus sign for doing string minus a string, because remember, this is of type string and this is also of type string. So we can't do that the same way that we can use plus. So for that, what we need to do is we know that we just need to store everything from the start of the street name up until the second to last character. So we can do that using splicing and say we want to store everything from the first character, which is defined by the index 0, to the second to last character. The reason that I'm putting -1 instead of -2 is that it's going to go up to but does not reach -1, so it's actually going to go to -2. So now when I print this, it should work. On Repo, you can't really see the space, so the next thing that we have to do is, remember, we want to store this inside of a dictionary. So I'm going to start by creating our dictionary. I'm going to call it evening dictionary, and write equals open close curly bracket. That's how you declare a dictionary. And we want to store this building number and street name inside our dictionary. So we're going to only do that, of course, only if that street name doesn't already exist in our dictionary. So we say if our street name is not in the dictionary, evening dictionary, then we want to add that there. So we would say evening dictionary of street name is equal to open close square brackets. We're going to append evening of street name with the building number. So what happens is, the first time that a street name comes and that's not stored in the dictionary yet, it's going to associate that street name with a value of an empty list, and it is going to then append the building number to that street name. So the next time that we come across a different building number in that same street name, instead of making it an empty list again, it just appends to the existing list. So let's see what happens when we print our dictionary at the end. This is storing the street name as our key and the building numbers as its values. But you can see that there is a catch with this method, which is that if we have two building numbers on the same street, then it stores that as 45 and 45, which is something that we don't want. But for this project, we are just assuming that we have filtered out the addresses so that there is a unique building number for every street name. That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something new. Bye!